welcome to Vlogmas day 11. And if you are new, hit that subscribe button. And if you are not, welcome, welcome, welcome. So I've been wanting to do this video for a very long time now. I've been excited to do this video, and I actually have notes, okay? Intentionalism for y'all, because I feel like this is very important, especially during these times. So this is my apartment tips video based on my experience. I have been moved out into my own place for about 7 months now, and I love it. Best decision I've ever made. I love it. And I feel like every woman, even man, should experience independence and just having their solitude. So I'm gonna share these tips of what I learned from experience. I like to just say this: I'm not a financial girly. I'm not, an expert in financials or a coach, and none of that. This is just me sharing my experience, and you can take the information and run with it, or you can just listen and not. It's okay. I just like to say that because especially this day and age in social media, everybody feels like they're a coach. Like, I'm sorry. This is just a personal thing. I can't listen to somebody if they only been a year or 2 years in their business or whatever they got going on. Like, yes, you can get successful in that short amount of time, but it's like I feel like everybody feels like they're a coach or they know everything. I want to listen to somebody who has hit 1 mil in their business or who has been in their business for like over 10 years. I want to hear the trials and tribulations. I don't want to hear all the good. Okay? So I'm going to be realistic when I tell you guys these tips, because it's just not everything's good, but it's like you learn through those experiences, you know? So I'm a very transparent person, and my channel is transparent. I'm not going to front for y'all. So, and that goes into number one. Okay, number one, write this down. Note takers are money makers, and appliers get their desires. So number one is, and this is a privilege for everybody. Not everybody can do this, and I'm learning this from graduating college. So I graduated back in 2020, which wasn't too long ago. I feel like it's so long, but it was only like 3 years ago. And technically, I got out of college. I got my master's in 2022, so I was literally in college a year ago. But besides that, I moved back home. I already knew I was going to move back home for maybe like a year or two. But I ended up staying home for about 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. And I feel like that was, enough time for me. I'm glad I didn't rush to move out, because there's a lot of people who moved out right after college and ended up back home. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just knew, like, you have to, like, save some money. You have to build a foundation for yourself. Or, you learn a lot while living at home. But I'm about to get into, like, that. Now, this is for the people who, have the privilege to live at home. Now, not everybody can live at home. Some people, their parents kicked them out. Or maybe they live in a very, very toxic household and they just can't go back home. So, I understand. And you can probably take these tips if you have a roommate too. So, living at home is a privilege. So, my first tip at living at home is build your credit. That is the best time to build your credit. Like, getting a credit card, only spending, they say don't spend over 30%, but I say, like, when you're first starting out, don't go over 10%. So that means, like, if you have a credit card with $100 balance, 10% will be $10 each month. But usually credit cards, they kind of give you like $500 or maybe to $1,000. I think 1,000, maybe 1,000. So if you have $1,000 limit, you should only be spending $100 a month. Now that may not seem like a lot, but like once you spend it, you pay it back. You spend it, you pay it back. Your credit's going up, and they're going to give you more money. So a credit card is just basically showing the bank that they can trust you with your money and you're building a relationship. So they say under 30%. Keep it under 30%. Make your payments on time. I'm not a credit guru, but this is what I do. Pay your credit on time. I link all my subscriptions to my credit card and pay it off each month. Keeps it all in one place, and I feel like it's just good, Yes, I have been in situations where I've maxed out credit cards, especially while living at home. I've been in situations where my credit score dropped 40%. And it's like I had to go through those low L's. And I was early in my 20s too. So it's like, for the people who are like 18 to like 21, I know like you can get really immature with your money. And I was. I think the worst thing is like actually having decent income at that age and just blowing it. So my advice to you is don't do what I do. Like just have some discipline. Like yes, have fun with your money if you don't have too many responsibilities, but have some discipline, please. Because I wish I would have at least learned the fundamentals of saving at an early age, as early as 18, or when I had my first job. But you know, we learned through the lessons. Build your credit while at home. Now, while at home, and if you're feeling like, okay, I'm ready to move out, have a plan for yourself because you know you can't have a goal without a plan. So maybe give yourself a timeline on when you want to move out. I kind of did that for myself. I knew I wanted to move out at a certain time, so I calculated like my income, how much I'm going to save each month, blah blah blah, and that goes into research, you know, and the practice of manifestation. So I was visiting apartments. You can look at my old YouTube videos. I was visiting these apartments, and sometimes you just have to stand in it, smell in it, touch it to really be there. But it's important to visit because you really get that true experience of what it feels like versus of looking at the pictures online. So there's just one apartment I really liked, and I don't know. It was between this one and another one that was still the same price range, but I'm gonna tell you why I didn't get it. Um, and that's going into another tip is when you visit these apartments, learn how much. So when you're visiting these apartments, learn how much other costs there is besides the rent. So you have your rent. 9 times out of 10, the water bill is included. You have BG and E that's separate. So look up the average BG and E bill in your state so you can get that estimate. Find out how much you're paying more in these apartments because some apartments you gotta pay for amenities. Sometimes you gotta pay for parking. Sometimes you have to pay for trash. So that's including your rent. So your rent could be $1,500 a month, but all those three things I said could be additional like $100. So it's not $1,500 a month. It's $1,600. So that's where the comparison and you're doing this while you're living at home. You're researching. You're comparing because you can pay a lower price for one apartment than the other. Like you're researching, you're comparing. Write down the apartments that you like. Write down where you're getting the best benefits. That's what I did. I got this apartment because my trash is only $8 a month and I get free parking. Versus the other apartments I was looking at, parking $40, trash $40. Like no, like I'm not paying that. And the amenities are free here. So yeah, compare your apartments and you know break it down to like the top three you want. Look at the reviews. Now the reviews tell the truth. Like they will show pictures, they will show you the good and the bad. Okay, and look at the recent reviews because you know the management may have changed through the years. So while living at home, I'll repeat it again: build your credit, do intentional research, and of course, I don't know, save. It depends what state you're living in. I say save 10 to 15K because when you move, it's like you want a good foundation for when you move out. And of course, like you want to get furniture, you need household items. I'm gonna get into that. That's when it gets expensive, like the household items, especially if you're starting from scratch. Now, if you're moving, if you already have your stuff, like the next apartment I have, I'm not gonna need anything because I already have it. But like that stuff gets expensive. Like it just, and it's like the things that you forget that you need, like a paper towel holder. I needed like a little pan for the stove. I needed this, I needed that, and like, yeah. So like, put money aside for that. I suggest Amazon. Amazon has great deals. I got a lot of my utensils from there. I got my knife set from. I got a lot of stuff from there. So keep that in mind when you're saving. Figure out how much the base rent is. I like to keep at least like 3 times the rent. You know, just present in my separate bank account for that because it puts your mind at ease. Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you read the book, money is like it's connected to your emotions and your feelings. Like people stress out because they're living check to check, but if you're living at home, you can make yourself now live check to check. I promise you, because you're saving, you're researching, and then while living at home, you're building a foundation of your income. Like I was working at the Boys and Girls Club. I think I had another job. No, working at the Boys and Girls Club. I think when I first graduated, I was working at Amazon. I was doing like little petty jobs. Then I found my job as a case manager, and I was getting like a decent income. So it was like that's your time to get yourself together too. Okay. And then another tip that I have that I learned, I went to like some business. No, I went to a pop up shop, and then we went to dinner afterwards. And this guy was like, he started paying himself while living at home. He was paying himself his rent. So it's like you're practicing what you can afford. So when you get paid while living at home, put it in your savings, like how much your rent will be in your savings, an estimate of your other bills, and put that away. So it's like you're already doing it, and you're kind of testing yourself to see if you can survive on your own. So that's like a great tip, and I implemented that, and it's very helpful. Okay, so hope y'all with me. All right, I know I'm just talking, but like, and that's like with manifestation, because it's like you don't physically have it yet, but you're kind of doing it already. And another tip that I want to talk about is, learning to budget. Budget doesn't necessarily mean like you have to say no to yourself all the time. Budgeting means just finding a cheaper option. Like for example, when I went to the grocery store, like I need to stop shopping at Giant when I can go to Aldi or Trader Joe's, get the same thing for a lower price. Um, Shopping at certain clothing brands. Like I got this from Shein, and there may be a sweater just like this that costs $50, but I got it from Shein for like $10. Things like that, like just finding cheaper options, and you're still getting the same value. Now I'm talking as a single person. Like I know a lot of people have children, and I feel like everything I'm saying, like add your child expenses too, daycare, food, clothes. I don't have children, and that's my choice. So I know this conversation may be different for other people, but I don't know. My suggestion is don't have kids. I don't know. I feel like kids like that's for a whole nother video. I ain't ready to have no kids. I really don't want them. I love children, but they're expensive, and it's like I'll be selfish to bring a child in this world if I can't afford the child. But that's a whole nother conversation in itself. Um, Another tip: make a wish list. Okay, make a wish list because that goes into what I said before with the household items. And shout out to my friends and family because I made my wish list. I said I was moving. I moved, and then I sent it out. I got everything on that wish list. And the plus, if you kind of send it around the holidays or your birthday, because that could be like your birthday gifts. But yeah, everything was on there. Cleaning products, my bedding, storage containers, like little stuff like that. Like it really adds up. But a wish list, especially if you have those supportive friends and family, you send it up to 20 people, you'll get all the items you need. And another thing I want to talk about is your time will be your time. I know when I graduated college, I wanted to move out so bad. But it's like if I moved out when I wanted to move out, I would have ended up back home. So your time will be your time. You know when you're ready to go. Like I felt like it's a blessing. It's just me and my mom, so I didn't really have too many people living with me or like any craziness. But I had my own space, had my own bathroom. But it's like I knew where I wanted to go in life, and just having my sanctuary and my own routine and flow that I was developing living at home and then transitioning into living in my apartment, like it's just a freeing feeling, and your time will be your time. And you should be even more motivated to move out, even if you are in a toxic situation. Like if I was living in a house full of people, I would never be at home. I'll be at work to get out of there. So, but your time will be your time for real. Like, don't compare yourself to others on social media. A lot of these people, like in my personal opinion, if you have to show how much money you have, show how luxurious life is, I feel like those people really aren't rich for real. I feel like true wealthy people don't show it all like that. So I don't take social media seriously, and I never compare myself to others because everybody has their own lane. Okay. And then when you move, decorate your place the way you want to decorate it. I know a lot of times you see on TikTok, like you see these white beige aesthetic pleasing places, but it shouldn't determine how you want to decorate yours. Make it your own. Add some color to it. Add things you want to. Don't compare your apartment to others as well. Like if you can afford an apartment with a white refrigerator, get the white refrigerator. Okay. Like as long as you're in like a safe place, like it's okay. You can have brown. I have brown cabinets. Like it's okay. Be grateful that you even have like your own place. Like you don't have to have the high rise in the city paying $5,000 a month. You don't have to have that. You know. Um, don't let negative people or negative vibes in your place. I'm good vibes only. I'm big on environment. I keep my space clean, so I'm really careful who I let in. And I would say continue to pray and be thankful for the little things. Like I even had like a little situation with my car, you know, and I was upset, but I had to think about like I'm grateful to have a car. I just went grocery shopping. I'm grateful to have a full fridge. I'm grateful to be able to afford gas. I'm grateful to have a job to have some income. I'm grateful to have my place that's furnished and stable in a safe environment. So it's like people would love to be in your position right now. So when you get in those situations, just be grateful for the things you have. I would say get a cat, get you a kitty, because they make everything better. But to sum everything up from what I said, while living at home, practice saving for your place. Be intentional with your apartment research. Get your credit in order. Get your credit in order. Okay? Don't compare yourself to others. Get a cat. Get a cat. Make a wish list. Continue to budget. Don't let negative vibes in your place and continue to be grateful and thankful for the things you have. I hope you enjoyed this video and comment like what resonated with you the most, because I've followed people who make these same videos. I'm like, oh wow, I can make the videos myself, so it's a great feeling because it's just a blessing just to have your own space and like just to have your own independence, to be grateful to pay bills, just to be grateful to be able to do those things on your own, not relying or being dependent on anybody. Okay, but I love y'all and I'll see you in my next video.